And we're live! Hello everyone and welcome to Saturday's cooking lesson. We are going to be doing shrimp and faux grits. I say faux grits because we're using cauli-rice because honestly, you are here for the creamy texture, you're here for the flavor profile, you're here for the shrimp. Shrimp and grits is well, they say it originated in Charleston. It is a low country type of a food. It's a southern thing. And there is really no recipe per se. The only thing that stands the test of time, I would say, would be the fact that the grits are creamy and delicious. They have lots of cheese in them. Sometimes it's cheddar, whatever. For our purposes, we're going to be doing a little Parmesan with it, okay? So we're going to start with getting the grits done first, or also known as the cauli-rice. And I also need to get out my cast iron pan. This is what we're going to be doing the shrimp in. Okay, you ready? Let's do this. First of all, we're going to start with a skillet that has a lid. My cauli-rice is frozen, and you can see it's a nice solid block, but it really doesn't matter because at the end of the day, it will all break down just fine. There's heat happening in that pan here shortly. And the first thing we want to do, of course, is make sure that we get an onion chopped. Onions they're our friends. Everything is better with onions. So we're going to start there. Oh, and I need some butter too, please. I never forgot something. We're going to start with a little onion and get that peel off. Oh my goodness. I'm telling you, fresh spring onions, this is what we have right now. The peels are tight. You can always tell that these are fresh onions. The peels are tight and they're odoriferous, shall we say. They're super strong. We're going to use half an onion on this. We'll use the smaller half. The other half we're going to use for the shrimp, okay? So we start here. We get a little chop going. Chop, 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 chop. And again, there we go. Give it another little chop chop. You don't have to, the thing is, you want even, you don't need to have beautiful and perfect. That's not what this is about. We are about cooking for the family. They're not going to be judging your chop, okay? So let's start now. We're going to get that pan going, and I'm going to get some butter into the pan. We're going to start with about a tablespoon of butter into the pan. A little bit more. We'll make it about a tablespoon. Do you like my abouts? I'm saying this because I want you to be able to walk into a kitchen and just make dinner. You don't need to get very specific about it unless you're really baking. That is a little avocado oil that I placed on top. The reason I do this is because avocado oil is going to save my butter from burning. Butter has a low smoke point, and it's because of the butter solids that are in there. It'll start to burn at right about 300 degrees, and we're going to be cooking in a higher temperature than that because, again, we're back to the place of saute mode, and you will appreciate this. All right, so as soon as that melts, we're going to go with that. Now, let me explain the whole idea of what we have here. We have some bacon. This is 4 strips of bacon, all chopped up. You can thank me later for this. I am going to use the other half of the onion. I'm going to chop that up. This is for the shrimp, okay? I will also use, and I think we have about, 12 shrimp here? Because there's more than that, 14.
15, 20.
15 shrimp. 15, do I hear 16? We have shrimp. We also have, this is one of my little secret weapons. It's called Better Than Bouillon. And this is made from our friends, the Better Than Bouillon people, and they just do a fantastic job. It's concentrated flavor is what it is, and it's really good. And of course, I have to show it to you. Here it is, you guys, the newest batch. Say hello to Mr. Bone Broth. He's saying hello to you. Hello, it's very nice to see you all. You didn't know my bone broth could speak, did you? I've been in the house way too long. There's a little heavy cream involved. Yes, indeed. This is an occasional sprint recipe, not for the hot melt sprint, but it is an occasional hot melt recipe, and it is also It's low carb. It is not low fat. Thank God, right? Who wants a low fat food? No thanks. No fun. And we're just going to give these onions a little stir around the pan. We let them get down a little bit, just a little bit translucent. We're not going to go for full caramelization. What we're trying to do is set a base for the cauliflower. The cauliflower is interesting. It's a very bland vegetable, really, unless you cook it to death, and then it becomes very, very potent and fragrant, and not in a good way. It smells like sulfur. That's because it has sulfur components to it. But what we want is just a base for this cauli-rice to cook, because we are going to turn this cauli-rice essentially into a grit-like texture with a little bit of cream, a little bit of cheese, a little bit of garlic, not a lot, because we're going to also place that in with the shrimp, and it's all going to be wonderful. How's that sound? Okay, there we go. It's cooking, almost there. Let it go. Let it go. Almost translucent. You can see that, right? It starts to get a little bit clear. You put the onion in, at first it's white, then it starts to get that clear looking thing. And if I kept going, it would start to brown a little bit. There it is. There you go, that's good. And then in here, we're going to drop that big icy monster. And over the top, a little bit of salt. And over the top, a little bit of pepper. And then we're going to go ahead and add that bone broth in right now. You can see I feel very confident in this because it's gelatinous. Put that right there. You see how bone broth is so completely versatile? You can use it for everything, and I always do. So we're gonna put this, we're gonna do a little swap it out magic and get that going. I will come back to my grits later, but right now we just need to get them going and we'll get some of that liquid cooked off of it as soon as everything is thawed. But this is real life, you know, because you don't pull out you forget about the cauli-rice, then you go pull it out and you're thinking, oh, I've got to wait for it to thaw. No, you don't. Just throw a lid on it, that's it. So here we are with the pan. And then once again, we're gonna cut that stuff up. We're gonna cut up an onion to go with it. Give it a chop. You saw my claw, right? I clawed it because I don't want to end up with half a finger. Oh, and I've got war wounds from when I worked in professional kitchens, believe me. Got them. And then I just go through and chop like this. I would never win on any of those cooking championships where they make you chop an onion and then go and inspect your onion. Because I would tell that guy off, that English dude, and tell him, you know what, it's really not important. Am I right? Okay, how about if I put some butter in? That is important. Butter is always important. Ask Julia Child. Okay, a little butter. Once again, a little bit of avocado oil. And we're just gonna give it 2 seconds to kind of heat up. Now, when you really pretty awful, along the spine of the shrimp, what looks like it would be the spine, is a little black vein, and they say you have to devein it. I just want you to know that what you're deveining is poop. That is shrimp poop. It needs to come out. So make sure when you're taking that out that you are cleaning out the shrimp. It's pretty simple to do it. Just, you know, grab a knife, run the knife along the shell, and then just peel it right off, and then, you know, usually that little poopy thingy will pull out with it, but you gotta, you know, you gotta be a little bit careful. Make sure that you get it all, preferably all intact in one piece. In goes the onion. And guess what else is gonna go in there? It's gonna make you happy. Bacon! gonna take a minute for them to get nice and browned up. Just a few minutes. You know, really what shrimp and grits is the ultimate skillet recipe. It's very fast and very easy to do, and shrimp takes no time at all to cook. And when it's our turn to make the shrimp, then you're gonna see, I'm gonna show you exactly how to do it so that you don't overcook it, because shrimp can go from being just delicious and tender and wonderful to being tough and just like, why did I even bother? You know, it loses its flavor as well. Who here's made shrimp and grits before? Anyone? Anyone? Okay, so you can see over here, come over here, Mr. Cameraman. You can see that this is starting to cook down a little bit. And see, I'm just pulling off the cauli-rice. It's fine. Everybody's happy. It's cauli-rice. This will be, you know, cooked down in about 5 minutes. It's not that big of a deal. And you can like knock the icy parts off the side easily and make that diminish. Actually, it's a good way to get your aggression out. If you have any aggression, not that I have any aggression. Okay. I'm just going to turn up the heat on this because this is going. This is looking wonderful. Look. You can smell it. It smells good. Yum, yum, yum. I'm going to use this bowl again. Now that it's no longer a garbage bowl, it's going to be my onion and bacon bowl. And what I do, this is my recipe. This is the way I do it. You can do it any way you want to. But I find myself, when I do things like this, because I want things to cook evenly and I don't want to overcook anything, I do things in stages. You have a question?
For cooking, better to have raw shrimp or already cooked?
Oh, definitely raw shrimp, yeah. You can use, if you've got a stash of cooked shrimp in your freezer, for sure use it. But it's better to cook it with raw shrimp because then you're not doubling down on the cooking time, okay? We're getting there, people. Come on. I don't have time for this. Obey me. It's getting there. I'm just going to put the lid back on because it'll add the heat. There we go. And I'm also going to, because I like to use all the utensils, I'm going to use this one to get this all going. And in the bottom of this pan, once this is finished cooking, we're almost there, there's going to be left a little bit of fat and what have you. And that does not upset me whatsoever because that's part of the flavor component. Also, while we're waiting for all of that, you've got your shrimp over here. This is going to be my food bowl. I've got a little bit of white wine here. Let me just make sure. Yep, it's white wine. That's going to go in as well. A little heavy cream. The cheese is going to go into the grits, the fake grits, faux grits, and we will use the bone broth again to make our sauce for the shrimp. What? Another question?
How much can you smell the shrimp because her husband's allergic?
Oh, even smelling it, your husband's allergic? You can smell it pretty good. I wouldn't, if you've got an allergy in the family, I wouldn't do this. But I'll give you a hint on what you could do. You can turn this into chicken and grits. And all you need to do is take your chicken and cut it into pieces like you would if you were making fajitas or a stir fry or something, and make the same exact recipe. It's really that easy. The thing that I like about, the skillet and, however we're cooking like this, is that there's a lot of flexibility here. If you don't have something, you can always substitute something else. I like it that way because it makes it easier. Okay, now I just want you to bring that on over here, love. You know you love this. All right, there's our grits, okay? And I am going to go ahead and give them a little bit more salt and pepper because I didn't do much the first time around. I'm also going to give it, the pepper mill is on its way out, so it's almost empty too. This is what I use for my cooking, this nasty little thing. I have a nicer one over there that we use. And I'm just gonna let some of this broth kind of simmer off a little bit and get a little bit reduced, okay? And then I'm gonna add a little cream to it and some cheese, and it'll be done. But it takes probably about 5 to 7 minutes for that cauliflower to cook down. It's not gonna have the exact texture of grits, but it'll come pretty darn close. Okay, we are almost there on this. Look how lovely this looks. Doesn't that look tasty? Oh yeah. And that's just gonna add, again, to the flavor component. We don't hate that. And we're getting the brown. That's what I'm looking for. I want a little bit of brown in here, because brown's letting me know that everything has cooked up. Everybody's playing nice in the pan. It's important. Okay, now, do you remember my little garlic rocker? You know you love this thing. I'm gonna show you how to do garlic. The way I do garlic is the way of the world. And you don't have to take the skin off every time, which I really like too. And I've got 4 cloves of garlic here, 4. Because I just like to go crazy on the garlic. There's smaller ones, so. But look at that, right there. I've got 4 cloves of garlic all ready to go. I'm just gonna leave it, oh, except for that part that I lost. Whoops, we'll put it back. It's okay, it's okay, don't worry, no garlic left behind. Okay, that's done. That is done. Look at that. Yes, ma'am, that's what I'm talking about. And here's my pan. Like I said, this is my own unique, this is how I do it. I do things in stages. I'll cook the first part, and then I'll add the shrimp, take this out, add the shrimp, then I'll take the shrimp out, the shrimp will go on top while I make the sauce. And the reason that I do it is because if you follow a recipe that has you doing everything at once, you'll find you've got way overcooked onion, like to the degree that you don't want it. And then the other thing is too, you want the shrimp to not be overcooked, because that's just foul. Now make sure that they have their own space. This is why I'm putting them down like this. Ouch. Don't be like that. And you've got to season them while they're cooking too. I don't know why, but I'm singing the Nutcracker inside. You know, da 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 da. That's just not right. Okay, so that is going, and my hand is already dirty on the right from the shrimp, so I'm going to use my left hand, which has not touched the shrimp, because this is how I do my salt, with my hands and my fingers, because I can feel how much I'm putting on there, and I want it even. Okay, salt is good, pepper, and that's basically all there is to it. Can you get me some tongs left from over there? I'm going to be turning that here in just a minute. I've got this now on medium. Our shrimp and grits, our grit part, is almost there. Almost there. There we go. There you go. So the shrimp, like I said, you see where you have to take a look at this as soon as the camera guy gets back. I lost my tongs. I didn't mise en place very well. Okay, so the shrimp, when we put it in, we're all clear. You can see them now starting to get a little opaque, is the word, opaque. And I'll turn them over. You see that? They have a nice golden color on them. And by the time I get them all turned over, it's almost going to be time for them to all come out, because it doesn't take a whole lot of time. And you can see how they start curling up. Now, what we have on the bottom here, remember we talked about this before, is called fond, F-O-N-D. That little golden brown stuff that's all left in the pan should never go down your drain. because this is what makes your sauce flavorful and wonderful. And I am a strong proponent for cooking all of your stuff in the same pan. How about that? You see that? They're done, really. Now, what I'll do is just take them up, and we are going to create a delicious sauce for them. A delicious, amazing. I can't believe I made this sauce for them. You see with my fond? Do you see my fond? You have to show my fond. Did you show my fond? I'm fond of the fond. Are you fond of the fond? And once again, we are going for the bone broth. One more scoop of bone broth because it's going to make a fabulousness. I'm doing about 1/4 cup of white wine. And then I'm going to add my lucky garlic to the big pot. This is going to make my sauce. This is the basis for the sauce. And I go in with my wire whisk. You can't do this in a pan like a non-stick pan. You need to use something like I'm using a cast iron or a stainless so that you can use this because all the flavor's sitting on the bottom. And let that come to a boil for ½ second. And then back to look at my grits. Well, British things. You can see here, that's all that's left. Can you see right there? That's all that's left. Probably about 1/4 cup of bone broth. And the rest has been absorbed into the cauli-rice. Okay? And that's when this comes in handy. Into this lovely mix, I'm going to add probably 1/4 cup of cream. We're going to give it another moment to absorb just a little bit more. And then we're going to come back to it and we're going to add the cheese, creamy it up, and then by then we'll have sauce, okay? Oops, I need to turn that up. Okay, so the sauce, this is wonderful. Everything has reduced just a little bit. And to that, I'm going to add just the smallest amount of butter. The butter will help it to creamy up. I'm also going to add, I have some Italian seasoning. This is Nana's Italian seasoning. I got this from Ava Jane's Kitchen. You can find that on our website if you go to savingdinner.com/Leanne-recommends. We have a whole page of stuff that we recommend, and their spice blends are just fabulous. They send them to me every month, and I'm telling you, I don't hate it. Question?
Asking if you wipe down the pepper bottle since it has been in your seafood hand.
What?
Do you wipe down the pepper, probably the pepper mill?
Oh, I will, when I'm all done and cleaned up. I'm sure it's been in my seafood pan. You get messy and dirty while you're cleaning, and you do the best that you can, but so if this has stuff on the outside, not as big of a deal as if I had my seafood hand in the salt well. You can't do that. You have to be really fastidious if you've got your bare hands and something that you're going to, again, this is a bare ingredient, see? This, easy to clean, and just take me a second. So, yes, I will be doing that. This is going to have cream in it as well, just a little bit. And it needs a little help, a little tender loving care from, what is this one? It's the roasted garlic one because they didn't have the chicken one, but usually I'd use the chicken one. This is probably a teaspoon, and I just add that to the bottom of the pan. And I'm going to show you what I'm going to do next. And you can smell the flavor is all coming together. Just takes a minute. Let it do its thing. Oh, and by the way, the other thing that I do, I know that because my shrimp have been sitting here, that they are going to have a lot of juice. So watch this. Watch what I do. I should use that's fine. I'll just do it like this. I put it back in. Put it back in now so that you can incorporate it into the sauce. The more flavor, the merrier. Okay, now, we have our friend over here. Did I ever add this? I don't even know if I added this. Did I add this?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. Somebody needs to keep me straight. Okay, this is pretty much done. You see that? The next part is super easy, and I'm going to add probably about 1/4 cup of this Parmigiano Reggiano. We got this, where did we get this?
Sam's
Mark's.
probably.
Yeah, okay. All right, you add that in to make your creamy, cheesy baked grits. All right. Now guess what happens? I mean, we're almost there, people. I'm actually going to serve this and let you see what it looks like. All right, this is done. At this point, you turn this off and just let the heat do its thing. I put the lid on top of the grits, and at that point, everything's stirred up and is making its magic happen. The sauce here has really beautifully come together. You know, you can add tomatoes to this, you can add shallots to this. There's all kinds of things that you can do. And then the shrimp, the bacon, the onions, and everything go in there. Yay! Look at this. Look how delicious this is. Tell me you wouldn't love to eat this. Who would love to eat this? Yum, yum, yum. Okay, so we've got our shrimp part, and we've got our grits part, and now all we need to do is I'll show you how to serve it. Let's see how that cheese is done. Yes, please. The cheese is creamy and cheesy. And you can add as much cheese as you want. Sometimes they add cheddar to it, but I prefer using a Parmesan because Parmesan's been well aged, and I just seem to tolerate it much better than I do the other stuff. So that's why, that's my secret to success here. Okay, you ready? This is how it's served. You put your cauli-rice on the bottom, just like so. And then you take a spoonful of shrimp, a nice big helping spoonful. You get some of that yummy sauce on it. Yum, yum, yum. Yes, indeed, shrimp and grits without the grit. Just a little faux action. In a perfect world, I'd have parsley over the top or some chives or something. But this isn't a perfect world. This is cooking lessons in my kitchen. Thanks for joining me today. I hope you found that to be entertaining and fun and delicious. And I'll just say too that I'd like to give a big shout out to all of our brand new Dinner Answers members. And I just want to say thank you to you. You are supporting this small woman-owned business when you buy our membership, and it's $7 a month. We've lowered our price to, we call it pandemic pricing, $7 a month. In return for you supporting us, we'll turn around and support you in any style that you eat. Every Tuesday, we'll send you menus, we'll send you recipes, and we'll send you the shopping list to make the whole thing complete. It's a plan. So check it out on SameyDinner.com and become a subscriber. Become a member today. And this good stuff, I think I'm going to go eat it right now. Me. I love you guys. Thanks. Peace. Share this. I appreciate it.